Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing the top 10 comic book Kickstarters of the month. So let's just jump in. I do have a couple of friends that have Kickstarters, so I don't want to be biased. I'm going to mention them. And also my Kickstarter, By Visibility Still By. It's about bisexuality. It has over 16 stories ranging from vampires, superheroes, and reality television. So hopefully you guys could go check that out. Now, moving into my friends' Kickstarters, we do have crossover divisions by Will. This is issues 1 through 4, so we're already up to issue 4. And one thing I love about this title is how literature and art truly meet. So it's Will's love of comics, but it's also Will's love of literature, and how that becomes the main protagonist of the story. And also the covers are just amazing, almost really every campaign. So if you're looking for some good cover art, you should definitely go check out this book. Now, moving on to number 2, one of my great friends, Brant, has Curiouser. We're all mad here. So if you're looking for a spin on Wonderland, definitely go check this one out. It's Alice's son dealing with the gender bender twist of this world of Wonderland. And the artwork is almost Dan Mora style. Very, very good, emotionally driven art style. So definitely go check this one out. Now, my last friend recommendation is Cheeky, a not safe for work graphic novel. So if you are looking for something a little sexy, go check out Cheeky. This is from Pat Shand, who's, a master at Kickstarter, and especially graphic novel Kickstarters. If you're looking for a different type of story that you don't normally get in the mainstream, go check out Cheeky. Now, moving into the actual top 10. So number 10 for me is A la BRAVA, Latina superhero team. It's exactly what you hear. It's a superhero team that is all made out of Latinx characters, and I think that's such a cool concept and great representation. Also, the art is just really cute for this one, so it just looked like a cute series, and looked all ages as well. Number 9 is HELLBENT, issue 1 and 2. This is a queer series about a trans lead with supernatural powers. It's described as a queer dark fantasy thriller. There are many genres there that I'm sure a lot of people enjoy. Also love just seeing the representation, especially for Pride Month. So go check out this gritty art style too, very gritty style for this book. That is HELLBENT. Moving on to number 8, which is Robert. That is a tongue twister. And the description says it's an erotic sci-fi comedy about 2 aliens who fall in love during a botched robbery in space. Now, doesn't that sound fun? And one thing I love is just the contrast. You get this kind of cartoony Saturday morning cartoon style with, a little bit more of a sexy plot. And it just looks like a fun time. And again, genres that you don't normally get to see mixed together, or styles you don't normally get to see mixed together. So that is number 8. Moving on to number 7, another queer book. That is Pool Boys, a gay demon boy romance. And this, I love queer representation, and I love how Kickstarter has so many projects with that. And this is actually the writer who's given us the Wiccan and Hulking book. That was the digital book, and then they had a physical book. So already doing some more mainstream queer stuff, and then having this kind of fun, almost webtoon-like book for Kickstarter. Moving on to number 6, which is MERAKI, which is another queer book. If you're looking for something more like Wonder Woman style, great art, this is the one to get. Strong female lead, more leaning towards the Greek mythology bend that you normally would see in a Wonder Woman type book. And that's my number 6. Go check it out. Moving on to number 5, which is Jack of Shades, issue 1. And honestly, what really got me for this one was the art style. Love how dark it was, but the line work was still very bright. There's just this really nice vibrance to it. Even though it had a darker leaning, there was just this really great color work being done. And then also there's just the mesh of vampires and lore, but then also modern dating. So how does that all, get together there? So I just thought it was a cool concept, good look for the book, so that's why it's number 5. Moving on to number 4, which I think is just such a wonderful concept, and as Scott Snyder presents Tales from the Cloakroom. So, Scott Snyder has a Substack going on right now, and what he uses his Substack for is to teach other creators, how to become book creators. And those students that took his class made their own anthology to, represent the Scott Snyder's Black Jacket press. They used the idea of the jacket to tell these stories, and they all have their individual stories, and the editors were also students from Scott Snyder's program. And I just thought that was so cool. Like, I love community on Kickstarter, so to see the community of Substack, the community of Scott Snyder students come into Kickstarter to make their own project that is all about community and all about working together, I thought was a really cool concept. So that is number 4 for me. Moving on to number 3, which is NECROHOLIC. And this is about a drunk necromancer, and also kind of has this more cartoonier feel for something that's a little darker. Almost a Casper-friendly ghost style, very light, but the coloring kind of brings this darker shade where you're like, oh, this kind of has a cool bend to it. And also just a concept I haven't seen, so it just looked fun. So that's why it's number 3 for me. Moving on to number 2, everything's about Saturday morning cartoons, it seems like, in my picks here. But T-Bird and THROTTLE Volume 1, so it's a way to catch up with this series that I hadn't heard of until now. So great way for me to catch up as well. And it's about this, superhero, your generic superhero who retires and then finds out all these other heroes have taken over after he was kind of forced to retire, and then he's dealing with his daughter, his rebellious teenage daughter. So it just seemed like it had a lot of heart to it, a nice bend on the superhero angle, which is, sometimes hard to do, and then the artwork that really matched to it as well. So that is number 2 for me. Number 1 for me is Nightmare in Newark. So speaking of queer books, this is about a character who literally kind of has this alien invasion story happen to her as she's trying to come out to her parents. So she's like, what is harder, dealing with fighting aliens or coming out to her parents? And it seems like there's a ragtag group of people with her as well, so I love a good ensemble cast. They're on the cover, and a good concept, and really showing something that's, something a lot of people go through, and enhancing it, and really blowing it up with this fantastical spin to it. So that is number 1, and also art is so good for this book as well. Very excited to read this one. So that's my number 1 pick. In the comments below, let me know what Kickstarters you are backing up and ones that you're excited for, and of course I'll be back next month to talk about all my favorite Kickstarters from the comic section of Kickstarter. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.